I forgot how to vape, evidently. What's up with you and what is? Oh my god. Yeah, I like messing with them. Hey, it's not my fault. Kelly hasn't been around in a while. We could be married to each other.
Nick's just like, wait a minute.
Just get off of that whole topic. We'll just get off of that
Logan.
topic.
Rings off, we have a potty.
Oh, the ring came off. All right. Well, sorry, Beck.
Right?
Just for tonight.
Freaking takes off the ring, puts it down south.
Yeah,
Well, it is silicone. That's the nice thing right here. Is it's my ring is silicone.
Mine's not.
I think that would cut off blood supply.
So the reason that I have a silicone ring though, and Nick knows, doing the work that me and Nick do, like actually having a metal ring is dangerous. You can get it caught in equipment, get it caught in tools, do things like that. Like men have had their entire fingers ripped off just from having a metal wedding band on.
See, I'm not gonna lie. My experience has actually been quite the opposite. My ring has saved my finger's life.
Really? Yeah.
So I used to work for a company. What's going on, everybody, by the way? Hey.
Hey.
I'm not married, but I wear my ring down south.
I wear my ring down
all
south.
the time.
At all the time.
So
It's like a studded metal ring.
I get lightheaded once in a while, but then it's just like slap it around a little bit.
It's like a spiked dog collar.
You gotta get blood circulation flowing my back again, and you're good to go.
So, like, I used to work for a company called Pitney Bowes. They are the ones that spam your mailbox, not your email, but your actual physical mailbox with all the mail outs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They make it cheap for everybody to do that. Well, we had a folder and inserter machine, and I was the trainer on teaching companies how to use it. Well, I had my hand, and I was showing the guys where all the metal plates are that slam down to form all the creases on the pages, because it folds 20 pages at once. They bought the big boy. The lady decided to plug it in with my hand in there.
Oh no.
Came straight down. All my fingers were completely cut. The only thing that was stopping it was my ring that I had from James Avery from my ex-wife.
Wow.
If it wasn't for that, I would have
Yeah,
lost
that's a miracle.
all my fingers.
All too often I hear about guys, especially working with chains and different things like that, or chainsaws, all sorts of stuff where they've actually snagged the ring, and the biggest thing was the ring got mangled and then either broke the bones in their hand or took the skin right off of somebody's finger. Like, so for me, I don't necessarily have any, I'm not opposed to wearing a metal ring, but working with the tools that I work with and doing what I do, for me, I feel much safer having a ring that could just shred and not get caught and snagged and torn.
And see, that's one of the reasons why I don't wear a necklace. And I never thought about beards until probably 2 days ago when I was cutting some tile, and I had my face down at an angle and I was looking at it, and a couple of my beard hairs got sucked in. Mm-hmm. It hurt really bad, but I pulled away because either that or my face was going to get cut.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of the reasons why this is about as long as I'll keep mine.
Yeah.
Mine will get to right about here, and I'll start trimming it back and kind of maintaining where it's at, just because then, like, it's good length. I think my beard looks fine. It looks good. But I don't grow it any longer than this. I could, but
mine doesn't grow any longer.
Mine peters out.
Besides me cutting off like the dead ends and stuff, this is the length that it stops at.
Yeah, that's pretty common. That's pretty common. It's very rare. The guys that can grow their beards like down to their fucking belly button,
Gandalf style.
Yeah, dude, that's really rare. It's a pretty common thing. You have like a kind of.
I want to extract some of that beard growing genes.
Mine can get a little bit longer than yours, Corey. I've had mine just a little longer, but it's just too much for me. It gets in the way of too many things that I'm working on and doing.
No, one thing the worst for me is a fucking mustache that goes over the fucking lips. Oh my god!
I keep mine trimmed right at the top level of mine.
Mine finally got trimmed up today, where it's like every time I was eating or vaping, there's just fucking like
Yep.
I'm eating half of my hair in my fucking
Or
mustache.
if it gets too long and you vape, it like condensates on your
God, it's the
mustache.
worst. Every time I vape, I have to go like this afterwards.
Yep.
The worst thing that
But
exists.
see, I can't get anything to grow right here.
I get my soul patch, but I got the bald spots right here too.
See, I got
I got the.
a little bit right there.
I'm always jealous of the guys that can grow a full beard like under their lip, like right across. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
I didn't luck out there.
It's like, hey,
Got the love patch.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the little soul patch thing too. And I get some like real blonde ones in here. I have hairs here. They're just super fucking blonde.
Those aren't blonde. Those are gray. They're
They're probably.
Oh, I'm getting the fucking gray streak coming in right now. I don't know if you can see right here, but you see a very light streak.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I got that going on.
You're okay. You have no excuse. I'm not even fucking 30 yet.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Well,
Hey, it happens. I mean, at least you're not going bald, Corey.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm kind of in a good situation where both my grandparents.
You know, mine's
full head of hair.
yeah, mine's thinning out real quick.
It's like I have a thick head of hair. Like that's a lot of.
Beard
The only
of
way you can see-
2020.
Right.
So, let's just start off like we always do. What do y'all think?
Oh, we didn't even really start the show.
We didn't either.
We're talking
Welcome
about
everybody
beards
to
the
Rescue
whole time.
Reviews. Again,
Wait, we're on right now? Oh shit.
so again, Kelly's not here. She's with kids. So it's kind of like a no holds bar show again, like last week, and it was really entertaining. We got off on some random ass subjects. Squirrels came up a lot. Love squirrels.
Cool. Some squirrely shit.
Very squirrely. But
Indeed,
let's,
Lando.
let's start off with normal for a little bit. What are y'all vaping on?
Corey, you want to start off, brother?
Ah, sure. Prosciutto from RCM with the skill, little DHD chop top. With, I don't even know whose coils in here, to be honest. I don't know. They're just somebody's coils. Inside of there, Oliver, deliciousness. I got the grip with
Nice.
just the plate, simple grip, Mr. Ashton Palma coated style with Cosmata 2. DHD chopped up in there with some clouds and coils, frame stapled alien god coils, which are fantastic. Inside of there, some strawberry unicorn dew from Kelly Kell. And then, what else do I got? Oh, yeah. MK Regina with the Typhoon GT4S. I actually put a single AJ Holland high ohm in there,
Ooh.
which kind of had to take a half a wrap off both sides to get it to fit.
What'd
but-
that bad boy ohm out at?
It's actually ohming at a weird. It was a 0.34 at first, but then I checked it this morning. It's a 0.446. So, whatever. It's still going good. It might be because it's gunking up because this liquid may be a little bit unrelenting. Where's the bottle?
Unrelenting.
Some twisted tongue.
Oh, something
That
fruity.
looks unrelenting.
fruity.
That is amazing.
It's delicious, but it is not friendly on your coils whatsoever. Like, I remember when I was at Will's and I finally reworked it after the long, like, weekend of with driving and shit. Looked at it, it was just a gunky, nasty fucking mess. I was like, ooh.
Have you tried their blueberry cheesecake?
I've wanted to try more of their stuff, but I've only tried the something fruity.
Their line is really good, honestly. They have a cinnamon roll that's really nice.
And then finally, I got my. What the fuck is this again? 1 Gen R. Right. 1 Gen R. S tank with some Mitch Hoget's mango lemonade. Oh yeah, I got one more thing. Right. Captain Blotto with whatever little bit left in my Leviathan depths, the caramel custard. Another crazy fucking gunk up your fucking coils liquid. But that's all I got going tonight. What about you, Logan?
Always rocking steady. Hashtag yard mod with a Zlide on top. I've got some 10 milligram Sang Pelignant from DIY or Die in that. It's just my daily work driver. Boxer 20x700 Squonk with a Citadel Delrin
Boxer, huh? Where the hell did you get that thing?
from Boxer. I've had it for a while. I just don't vape it all the time. Ordered
Thanks
it
for the
direct.
fucking info there, Logan.
You asked, man. I don't know what.
Where'd you get that?
Oh, that's where I
Boxer.
got it. That's my answer. Yeah, so I got that.
Let's be honest here. I've seen Logan with the same 3 setups for like 2.5 months. Okay,
dude, I'm not somebody that goes out and buys a lot of new things. It's a rare day that I do. But in there, I've got some of Sifu's Stash, Kick It Root Down, probably the best root beer liquid I have ever had. It's so fucking good. And then one that Corey's always familiar with, Titan V2, Odium sitting on top, Swifty DHD. I've got some Staged Aliens from Saddle Horse Blues in there, 0.08, just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. And going strong with Saddle Horse stuff, I've got some Orange and Mango from Saddle Horse Blues sitting in there. That's my lineup tonight.
What about you, Nick?
I am the same as always. I got the grip with the Apocalypse on top, and inside of here, I actually just put a new set of coils in. What do y'all think of them?
Ooh.
Are they point mind your fucking business?
Well, that's the question. What do you think they are? Do you think they're point mind your own fucking business?
0.1.
I know what kind of shit you put in that stuff. I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
They are 0.09.
I'm proud of you. That's high for you.
It's kind of high for you.
That's high for you.
That's very high for me.
Are you okay?
That's.
Check your pulse. Make sure you're ticking okay.
Dude, it's been.
Is there like an irregular heartbeat going right now?
It's been a really weird couple of weeks. Like things are happening.
Things are. Oh.
I don't know what things are, but they're happening.
Changing.
Attention, everybody. Nick has finally hit puberty, people.
Nick has finally found Ohm's law and safety.
Like, what if imagine somebody doing a live show on YouTube and like at the moment they're doing a live show, their balls drop and their voice just goes,
Hey guys.
And so here's the thing too with
my name this and I talk like this now.
With like recommending ohms to people, like if somebody's new to using mechs and they're going to use a 21, I always recommend Samsung 30Ts. Obviously, knowing battery safety, keep your wraps good, all of that good stuff.
Make sure you're subscribed.
But
to
I never
Much.
recommend anybody initially starting out to build anywhere under 0.12 because 0.12 is kind of that 35 amp threshold. And you can pretty safely, as long as you have a good mech, your batteries are in good condition, you've built correctly on something regulated, you know your build is safe, all of those good things, then you can vape on that vape. You don't have to worry about your batteries getting hot or anything like that.
Exactly.
For everybody else, if you're going to build lower than that, you're taking your safety into your own hands at any time that you use a mech. But just pay attention to the heat of your battery and your mod. If you're going to build below a 0.12 on a single 21700 or building below, 0.17 on a single 18650 or whatever you're doing, always just because you can, because if you're only hitting it for like half a second, taking a big rip real quick or whatever. Okay, just to everybody listening and watching, just please mind the heat coming off of your mod and your battery.
If you push your button and you feel your button getting hot, unscrew that fucking thing right now. Take that battery out.
And a good rule of thumb too with mechs is if you push your button and nothing happens, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
That's a very bad sign.
Again, don't do anything else with it. Just fucking stop.
But let's clarify that. If you push your button and then you unscrew the cap and you realize you don't have a battery in there.
Okay. Yes. Then
I feel like you would notice that the moment you pick up the mod and be like, this is a little bit lighter than I'm used to.
Corey, look at the generation nowadays, though.
Yeah. Well,
if you're
part of the generation, if you're part of that generation, it's probably illegal for you anyway.
I'm trying to give people a benefit of the doubt and hoping that they're not using mechs.
But no,
that's my mech safety rant for tonight. Everybody, please.
My mech safety rant is just go follow Battery Mooch.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. If you're not following Mooch, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
That's all you need to do. If you want to know anything about battery safety, just watch him.
Yeah.
Even I build, even I'll throw a 0.09 or a 0.1. I actually like my single mechs right at 0.1. And a dual battery,
0.1.
I like them right at 0.1. 0.1 even is like the perfect build for me. But even me, I have that checklist that I go through while I build, that I make sure everything is good. I make sure everything's right. And when I'm running a 0.1, I don't just chain vape it. You know what I mean? I take those good quick rips. I put it down. I let it cool down. I let it do its thing. And then that's also another reason why I'm such a fan of parallels. Parallel boxes give you so much more safety.
Yes.
Because the amp load is shared across those two batteries. So as opposed, like if you're running a Ben box, for example, 21700s, if you're running 30 Ts singularly, you would have 35 amps to work with. In a parallel box, you have 70 amps to work with. You know how low you have to build to get to 70 amps? You're at like 0.06, bro. Like, I mean, there's just a lot of safety. Now, obviously, you're still getting the hit, basically, you're getting the volts of one battery. You're still only getting 4.2 volts in a parallel. But if you're used to running a single battery mech, moving on to a parallel, all you're gaining is safety.
Yeah.
You're gaining a ton of safety.
And when you're running the Ben box and you're running any Mac, check your wraps, like they were saying earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you hate to vent a battery and fry some wires in a Ben box.
Yep, been there. I've done it. And I don't know, dude, I really think, because those 21s, right after that, I replaced all my 21s. I replaced like 12 batteries that day because they were all about a year and a half old. And those 21s were used super regularly. And the thing with lithium ion batteries is they have life cycles.
Yeah.
So many cycles, right? Recharging, draining, because a lithium ion battery is essentially made up of ribbons. You have an anode, you have a cathode, and you have negative ribbons, and they're all wound up together, and there's a negative ribbon in between all of it. And what happens in a lithium ion battery over time through charging cycles is there's essentially like deposits that get made on the positive ribbon, little tiny deposits. And the best way to describe them is think of like stalactites in a cave, and they build and they build and they build, and eventually they will break that negative barrier. And if that deposit makes contact with the negative ribbon, you'll have an internal short in your battery. And that'll happen after so many cycles in the lifetime. That's why we always tell people like 1-2 years if you're running regulated stuff only, and like you are really good about switching your batteries out and stuff like that. 2 years, no more than 2 years on a battery ever. Yeah. I change them typically every year. That time I went like a year and a half on them, and I really think that the second I put that battery in that Ben box, dude, it was just, it's time to fucking go. That's what I think. This is what it is though. Battery safety, guys. You know, especially if you're running mechs, you got to know it. You got to do it. You got to practice it.
Yeah.
You got to stay safe.
Always, man.
All right, that's my safety rant. I'm done.
But these coils are actually triple C.
Nice. I have no idea who makes triple C.
His name is Corey. I put this one in on Sunday night, and I've been in love with it. It has the pop and the crackle that I like from my Mind Your Own Business coils, but it also has the flavor of everything.
Nice.
And then he did some mouth to lung, so I'm gonna put an ether together for Kelly, so that way when she gets home, she can try the ether out and see what she thinks.
Have you tried the ether? Do you like it?
I don't do any mouth to lung setups, honestly.
Nah, gotcha.
I've tried.
Anything in direct alone. Run into direct alone. You'll get fucking crazy fucking flavor out that thing.
Well, I did try my buddy's ether direct to lung with a 3-nick in there, and it was Ben, and it was phenomenal.
Because that reduced chamber and that fucking tighter airflow, it's gonna be.
Oh, the flavor plays.
Yeah.
And then my last.
Well, remember when I freaking
look at that.
when we were at Will's, I had Thai inside the S tank, and you tried it. You were like, "Holy crap, the flavor's insane on that thing."
Yeah.
Just because it's such a little condensed chamber, Thai just tasted great.
Why do you think this is one of my favorite RDAs of all time? The Citadel. I mean, not only is it a tiny little flavor guy, but that Ultim insert in there reduces that chamber down so far.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's sick.
That's why I like the recurve too.
Yeah, the recurve is that's my wife's like daily driver.
Yeah,
Is the original single coil recurve. That's a great flavor RDA. And you can get
and I love it.
good clouds off of that, you know? You throw like a 0.2 in there.
right.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I have the recurve dual, and it's the same thing, just dual coil.
Yeah, I've never used the dual. I don't own a dual. Never used it.
Yeah, I prefer the single over the dual.
Tim wants me to do my work.
Oh god.
The DC workout. You just sway, man. Just sway. You got to work the hips. You got to loosen up the hips. That's all you got to do. It's just all about the sway. For all the people that watched my DC live stream, I probably made all of them seasick.
I mean, see, all you have to do is
It made my arms hurt. That's what it did.
Oh, dude. My elbows, like the inside of my elbows, 3 hours into me holding my phone steady like this. Oh, dude. Oh, man.
I would have been to that point where it just during out, I'm like, help me.
Well, I mean, the whole reason that I did it, though, was not everybody follows the UVA. Not everybody tunes in to the UVA. And I understand that, and that's fine. There's a mess of reasons why people may not follow the UVA or whatever. But I have over 3,000 followers on Twitter. And I wanted to make sure that anybody who wasn't following the UVA or wasn't tuning in there had an alternative place to do so. Like if they were following me or, if people were sharing my stream as well, that they just had an alternate place to go.
Yeah.
That was it. It was the only reason I did it. I just wanted to make sure that people had, the availability of it to them.
And that's the same reason why we did it for rescue. It gives those few extra people the knowledge that they want or what they're looking for.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I can definitely tell you that my arms were sore and my fucking legs and hips were sore. Yeah.
I remember the one in November when we were there. Like my legs were fine most of the day. Like the weather wasn't too bad during the day. It was nice and warm when you're wearing like a couple layers. You were good. But the moment the sun started going down, and the wind picked up, you're like, "Oh, mother of God!" The battery in my heated jacket died. I'm like, "Sweet."
The battery in your heated jacket died.
Yeah. I came prepared.
You have a battery heated jacket.
Hell yeah!
Your hairdresser comes to you.
I know.
I'm a spoiled little bitch.
This is fucking privilege, right here, man.
Jeez.
Hey. It happens, okay?
It happens.
Make a couple investments to make life a little bit easier, I guess.
Corey has a really good Acorns account.
Yeah, right? Bitcoin is great. No, not really.
There you go. How to risk your life in an Escalade was a great experience as well.
It wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't that bad. And honestly, like the aftermath, seeing like the wheel wells and the tires and stuff, I was like, okay. It sounded and felt a lot worse than what it actually like the end.
Was there like screeching going on?
You could just feel the rubbing and the vibrations from the tires on the wheel wells, and we were all just like waiting for a tire to blow. You know what I mean?
Oh gosh!
I ended up having to replace the rear tires when I got back.
I'm sure you did. Yeah.
It's okay though. They weren't that bad to begin with.
They needed it anyway? Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that. It makes me happy saying that.
They were brand new like 2 days before DC.
No. They were the original rears from when I got it a year ago.
Right on.
Like, well, the tread was starting to not be visible anymore.
It wasn't on the side where the wheel
kind of
was.
looked like racing tires a little bit at the end, but
that's my work truck. I got to replace the tires in the work truck. They're complete slicks. It started raining real bad.
Oh,
and I went around the corner a little bit, and I was like, okay, we'll get new tires tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, we will.
As somebody who does landscaping and stuff like this, I want to put it out there for everybody. A good safety tip: if you're somebody that mows your own lawn and you live on a fairly busy road, please don't blow your grass out into the road, because when it rains, your grass that's out in the road basically turns into an oil slick, and for anybody, especially people who ride motorcycles, is extremely dangerous.
Oh yeah.
It's actually illegal here in West Virginia to do that. If a cop sees you, they'll give you tickets and cite you.
Yeah, it's extremely dangerous. That grass literally just becomes essentially an oil slick. I've known a number of people who've put their bike down, rolled everything, almost died just because of grass out in the road.
See, I never honestly thought about that until I moved here to West Virginia, and I was cutting my grass, and my neighbor came over to me and goes, "You're gonna sweep it up, right?" I was like, "Sure." And he's like, he explained exactly that, and it's kind of one of those like you put your head down and shame. It's like, I'm gonna get my broom.
Yep.
Yeah, I never.
It's something
ever thought about that
for
before.
most people, they don't give it any thought, and they just assume, oh, the wind will blow it. It's it's fine, and that's reasonable to assume that, but Yeah, it's definitely a very real risk to people on motorcycles or even in cars. I mean, cars, you can hydroplane, you can do the same thing on wet grass. So yeah, definitely something for everybody out there. Reduce harm, do less harm.
Food for thought.
Food for thought. Ways to stay safer and keep others safe as well. Lots of safety pro tips tonight.
It is.
Just in case you came here to be rescued, right? Well,
and never stick your fingers in electrical outlets.
yeah, or any other extremities. Toes.
Well, I thought you meant stick your fingers in any extremities.
I thought you were talking about a different extremity. I was about to say, why would you do that, Logan? Have you done that before? These are questions I have to ask now.
So I've never done it, but can't say
I'm saving myself a trip to the doctor.
Just you wait till I get health insurance.
Hey, I don't have to worry about the doctor saying, going up to the doctor and being like, where'd I put my pants? And the doctor was like, right there next to mine. That's when you run. I don't care. Keep your pants off. Run.
Guy goes to the doctor and just for a basic checkup, doctor comes back, says, I got some bad news. Guy says, oh my gosh, what's the bad news? Doctor says, you don't have very long to live. The guy says, well, how long, doc? Tell me. And the doctor says, 10. The guy says, 10 what? 10 years? 10 months? Doctor says, 9. 8. 7.
He's about to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit!
Yeah, sorry, that was my best one. That was all I got. You'd think I'm a dad, I would have more dad jokes, but
You need the essence. You need the essence of Dan just to.
dude, I just need. Yeah, I need like Dan should just be like my spirit animal, always with me. I just need like a little vial of essence of Dan, wear it around my neck, and then when I need a dad joke, I can just open it up and like sniff it, and like close it back up. That's what I need.
Kelly's daughter sent me this, The Secret Service isn't allowed to yell "get down" anymore when the president is about to be attacked. Do you know what they have to yell now? Donald Duck.
I think I
Frank,
told
yeah, we're
this.
all squirrels, bro.
We are. There's squirrels everywhere. Squirrels are absolutely.
I think
amazing.
I told Logan this story, but when my brother was in high school, there was a teacher that's a Vietnam vet, and my brother and some of his classmates like to fuck with him. So he's walking down the hallway. They're on the other side of the hallway, and they scream out, "Charlie's at your 6." The teacher, that was the vet, instantly dives into the bathroom because of instinct, and they're laughing hysterically, and that's the end of my story.
That poor man.
Dude, terrible. That's terrible. Yeah.
It's humorous, but it's not in a good way.
No, not
I know,
at
it's like-
all. It's like, oh.
It's like I have a fucked up sense of humor. And I laughed at that, but I also felt ashamed of myself for laughing at it.
Yeah. I have a good story. A teacher told me years and years ago. This guy was working at a Catholic school. He was a computer lab teacher at a Catholic school, and the librarian used to keep this big cart with all of her flowers and plants, and in the library she had this huge cart with all these plants on it. Well, she came to my teacher one day and she's like, "Can you tell me what this plant is? It's beautiful. It has these huge fan leaves on it. And it smells really good." And he's like, "You need to get rid of that plant right now." Somebody planted some cannabis seeds on her cart, and she started growing this fucking cannabis plant in the library at this Catholic school.
Oh my god, that is
And she
awesome.
couldn't figure out what it was, but it smelled so nice.
I have something that kind of relates to that too. So my mom and her ex-husband, they like smoking weed back in the day. So they grew a pot plant in the house. Everything. My grandma comes out of her house like, "Oh, what a beautiful plant," not knowing what the fuck it is. So she's like, "Oh," and they just continue to grow. "That's a beautiful plant."
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
He told me another story back during like the golden era of DARE. Police officers used to come into the classrooms, talk to kids about drugs, and DARE is a terrible program. But either way, this officer came in and was doing a demonstration on cannabis and brought 2 joints with him. he passed these joints around the room so the kids, obviously, now that they know what cannabis is and because they fucking needed to know all of this, could smell it and hold it and touch it and identify, oh, this is a cannabis joint. And then when he asked for the class to pass them all back, he got 3 in return. Somebody was like, this is a golden opportunity to ditch the joint that I brought to school today before I get caught. And the kid must have passed it around the room. So like, this was, I don't know, the 70s, 80s, something like that. So like, they weren't gonna like fingerprint fucking shit or whatever. But even if they could have, every kid in the classroom's fingerprints would have been on every one of those. There would have been no way to know.
It would have been better if it was partially smoked.
Right. No, he just bailed on it and passed it around the room with the other 2 that the cop brought in.
Cop looks at him, but wouldn't be like, shit, this one's better than mine.
Now, if I was that cop, I would have just taken the 2 that I brought back to the evidence locker, and I would have smoked that 3rd one on the way back to the station.
He gave me a cigarette. That's all it is.
It was just a cigarette. Just a marijuana cigarette.
What's that wacky tobacco you got there?
That wacky tobacco.
Or the cabbage.
Devil's lettuce.
Oh, that's my favorite one, devil's lettuce. Like, what if they called it like the devil's cabbage or something? Like, they could have picked some. I don't know. They could have picked something different.
Yeah, I don't know. Devil's lettuce
or oregano. I mean,
oh, dude. So, here's a story about oregano. My best friend's ex-girlfriend. This is years ago. This is probably, we'll say, like 15 years ago. She like dipped out and left us at this party because she was like, I'm gonna go get a bag off this dude. Like, that's all we were told. I'm gonna go get a bag off this dude. Okay, sure, whatever. She comes back like 2 hours later with this bag and it's half full. And she's like, guys, I got the fucking best deal. I just paid $20 for like 10 fucking grams of this stuff. And we opened it up, dude, and it was just pure oregano. Just 100%, not a lick of weed in sight. Just 10 grams of pure oregano.
It's like, well, we're gonna go home and make spaghetti now, I guess.
You definitely got a deal there.
Right. Jeez.
She was fucking.
Even though you could probably get a jar full of it for less.
Oh, like $3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, she was so stoked when she got back. She's like, you guys, I got the best deal. No, dude, no.
Oh, you just got fucking gypped motherly.
There.
Oh, that's good.
There.
Yeah.
Just a nice little head tap.
You know, I mean, we were teenagers, you know. She didn't know any better as far as like, make sure you know what you're buying. Like, check the bag, smell the fucking buds, you know? Like, she didn't know.
Hey, back when I fucking smoked in high school, all you had was fucking hydro and regs.
Yeah.
That's literally all I had available to me.
Swag, you know?
Like dirt weed and like,
yeah.
remember freaking smoking hydro and like, this is the top shit.
You remember that? Remember when you would get like the slightly browned, bricked, like it literally, somebody broke it off of a brick? Yeah. Oh, that was the good stuff, man. Smoked like 6 blunts of that and still not be high. Terrible. I didn't know we were going to turn this into a cannabis show.
Right.
Sorry, I kind of started.
Tell us your dirt weed stories.
Yeah, tell us all your dirt weed stories.
Right.
I'm sure Anthony Ramella has a whole lot to say right now.
He opens up a book and be like, oh, I got some stories for you.
He's like, oh, I remember those bricks. They came up in some trucker's wheel well.
So speaking of Anthony Ramello, we're about to launch a new CBD gummy.
Oh, dope.
We are
Like a
doing-
collaboration kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Just like with the rings. We're doing gummy bears this time, though.
Nice.
So it'll be
Any-
different flavors this time.
Specific, different flavor, any specific flavors or anything?
It's
Or is
kinda
that all
like
you
just-
can say?
It's kind of like just reaching into a bag of gummy bears, though.
Nice.
It's assorted flavors and everything like that. So you kind of get a hodgepodge of everything. And then, you know, we're about to do something else special. And you know what it is, Mr. Logan.
I do know what it is. I'll let you share whatever you want to share.
I'll let you share with the class. Spill your beans, buddy.
Okay, so I got talking to Nick one day,
And Kelly.
and Kelly about a liquid flavor because I love the lemonade that's in Ben and I love the blackberry that's in Velez, and I told them you need to marry these two flavors together and make a blackberry lemonade because I think it would be bomb. So they're gonna go ahead, they're gonna make the liquid, and I believe it will be the first cat in the liquid line. It's going to be named after our kitten Frank.
Yep.
So Frank is going to be a blackberry lemonade. Have you
That's dope.
actually gotten started on it? Have you had
We should have the samples back to us. I want to say it is Wednesday or Thursday of next week.
nice, dope.
And we're going to be trying something new with yours.
Okay.
We're going to be going with synthetic nicotine. So it's going to be
Dope.
tobacco-free nicotine.
Okay.
Sweet. S was it S isolate S whatever?
Yeah, it's the weird one. But we're going to have it made with regular nic and then tobacco-free nic. And we're going to go from there and figure out which way works the best, let it steep for a while, and figure out how it is. But I'm not sure how the tobacco-free nicotine is going to steep, honestly.
Yeah. I've never used TFN, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
It's
gonna
not
be a
something I'm
learning
super
curve.
well versed in. Yeah.
Funny thing is, we could be vaping on something that's TFN right now and not even know.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean,
sometimes
a
they
lot
don't
of
really-
companies will they'll try to, I don't know, advertise that though. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like part of their shtick. Like if they're using TFN, they try to make a deal out of that somewhere on the labeling or something like. Is there a big significant cost difference between the two?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost-
that's what
almost triple.
TFN, from my understanding, is significantly more expensive, and that's because of
the process to get
the
it.
process. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, where you're extracting your nicotine from, tobacco, the tobacco plant in the nightshade family has the most nicotine. You know, just that's why people smoke tobacco and not eggplant leaves. You know, well, yeah, it's part of the nightshade family. Eggplants, green peppers, tomatoes, all of those contain nicotine as well. So I'm curious as to whether, like, what companies are either straight synthesizing nicotine, like actually from the ground up building the molecules and synthesizing nicotine, or if they're doing extractions from other nightshade plants.
The one that we're using is pure synthetic.
Yeah, yeah,
So probably just made up in a lab.
yeah, yeah. So you're taking the molecules and combining them to synthesize full synthetic nicotine. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting.
Because I mean, you know how many green peppers you would need to make a fucking 3 milligram bottle of e-liquid? Like, yeah, dude, it's a.
I'm gonna need an entire semi's worth of
Yeah,
green
like it's
peppers
absurd. You can do it. It's just not
to
cost
make enough
efficient.
for one 3 milligram bottle.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to see what would happen. Would it have a little bit of spice to it with being from a green pepper? You know?
No, because you're getting it right back down to nicotine. You're still doing a full extraction of nicotine. You're getting it back down to the
Could you imagine though? I got this one from jalapeno.
yeah. You have a little spice in there. Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting process for sure. But TFN is definitely not a cost-effective route, you know,
It's not.
in the realm
It's
of
still
getting
too new.
liquid nicotine.
It's
Yeah.
still too new.
And it's just a different, once they get that process more streamlined and it becomes a bigger thing, then the
It
price
will. Yeah.
will go down.
Price will drop, and if once it becomes more of like a heavily mass-produced kind of
Yep. Price
way,
will go down.
where
And we're not planning on if we can get it to where it works using the synthetic, then we won't if possible at all, we're not going to be raising the price off.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure people will be understanding in that, though. You have a really an understanding, loyal base of people
Yeah.
behind you guys. So, you know, I'm sure if there was, you know, a reasonable increase in price, people would be understanding there. I would be anyways.
Yours is going to be the first lemonade in 100 mil.
Dope.
Also.
Dope.
Um,
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Do I get to
What
partake in the
line-
sampling?
Yeah, of course you do. So the way the process will work is we'll get it in. Once the liquid has met mine and Kelly's standards, then we'll send you up a bottle of it.
Dope.
So that way you can try it and see if it's something that you like, you agree.
Well, I mean,
to.
it's obviously it's your liquid. I don't want to,
Well, it is, but we do it with everybody who we
Yeah.
like. Before we launched Nico, we sent a couple bottles of it up to Graham. And before we launched Mika, we sent a couple bottles to Will. Prohibition, I didn't get to send a bottle to. I sent that to you instead.
Oh well, it was delicious. Sorry, Prohibition. Oliver was great.
But it's one of those things also, and then it obviously your Frank is going to be easily 3 months out just because of the fact that we let it steep for so long.
Sure.
Because we made a lemon cheesecake, absolutely fantastic, fucking amazing. And then after letting it steep for about a month, it turned into goddamn Fruity Pebbles. Which wasn't bad, but it's not
Right, but not
cheesecake.
not what you set out to do.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't label it.
Steeping is such
cheesecake.
a weird process, right? Like what it can do to a liquid.
Yeah.
It can either make or break a liquid. Really can. And it's just a really interesting thing. Like you have molecules, flavor molecules kind of homogenizing and attaching to VG molecules and things like that through that process. It's a really interesting thing.
I mean, look at Oliver.
Oh yeah. I
Brand
vaped
new.
Oliver, like a week old. I vaped Oliver and the custard was super light. It was flavorful. You could tell like the blueberry was really predominant, but the custard was super light. It didn't have that like custardy depth.
Yeah.
You get like 3-4 weeks into that steep and it's just like just saturated, deep, custard rich goodness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it went from blueberry cereal to what it's supposed to
Blueberry
be.
custard.
Yeah. 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 Steeping is, you notice that too, like, especially with things like custards, creams, bakeries, they tend to require a good hefty steep time. Whereas like a lot of fruit stuff, you could basically shake it and vape it.
Yeah, that's a lot of DIYs do that when they're creating a fruit flavor. They just shake it up right away and vapor right away because what you're getting now is not going to be much different when you're going to get later on.
Right. Right. But especially with those like deeper notes, those custards, bakeries, stuff like that, they really do take time to homogenize and develop and get good.
Yeah, look at Ben. I mean, you got to vape OG Ben.
Yeah, dude, OG Ben was so good, man.
I don't think
I wish I had
Oh,
just saved part of it.
I'm not sure if I did or not.
Maybe if you're nice, I'll send you a 15 ml bottle of it.
Oh,
OG Ben is so good, dude. I mean, that's what I told Nick. Like, Ben is amazing. Ben is a phenomenal liquid. I love Ben. I have like 5 more
I
bottles.
crush bottles of it.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. I'm the same way. If I crack a bottle of Ben, I'm committed.
Gone.
That bottle is gonna be gone.
Yeah.
But OG Ben is like just this much better. It's just that little bit better. And there's something that changed though, right? In Ben.
The guava did.
Yeah.
We weren't able to get the flavoring anymore for OG,
Yeah.
and it made me sad. And
Yeah.
I have about 9 bottles of OG Ben left between 0s, 3s, and 6s that I'm saving, so that way I can just every once in a while I'll crack a bottle
Yep.
and I'll vape it.
It's
for
like a
little
special thing.
bit. It is
Yeah. Now what do you vape regularly? You vape 3, right?
always a 3.
So do you just take a bottle of 6 and a bottle of 0 and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't like doing that honestly. It's not the same taste.
Right, because you have one that has never had nicotine in it, and then you have one that has 6 milligrams. Sure, I understand.
I mean,
It's close, but
it
it's not quite there.
Now, I've hit Ben in a 6 in Kelly's setups before, like not the lunch setups, and it's not bad, but it still kills my chest.
I can tell you that Becky, she understands, but she's still real bummed that you guys aren't doing the salts because she vapes Ben in an 18 salt, in her little boost pod every day like it's her fucking job. Like, that's all she vapes in that thing.
Well,
But I told her that you guys are doing the freebase versions, and I told her, I said, if you pick up a 12 in the freebase, you're probably going to really enjoy it. I'm an 18 salt to a 12 freebase.
and honestly, if there are things like with Becky, if there's something that we discontinued the Nick strength wise for Ben in the 18, you can let us know, and we can have bottles of it made up for you.
Oh, then I'm definitely going to do that.
I mean, it's
You
just
just
one of
open
those-
Pandora's box because, dude, that's definitely one of her, like, that's her go-to. That's the thing she takes to work. I mean, it's like me with this thing. You know what I mean? Like, I leave all my cloudy stuff and the majority of my setups at home on the desk, and that's where I vape them. And this is just what I take to work every day. That little boost pod is what she takes with her every single day, everywhere she goes with that Ben salt. Yeah, dude, she loves that fucking thing.
Kelly stole mine.
It's a nice little pod. I think the RBA on it sucks, but the coils for it are really good, you know?
No, I haven't got to hit mine yet. Kelly has it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a little too airy for me. It's even all the way close. Like, if you really get that airflow all the way down, because I like a tight mouth to lung. I want a cigarette draw off of a mouth to lung. But if you go into that pod thinking more like restricted lung, you're going to have a really good vape off of it. But if you're after trying to get a mouth to lung off of that boost pod, it's not going to happen. Not a tight one anyways.
But yeah, just the other thing to keep in mind, if you do that, if you do order Ben in an 18, you just let us know. It's going to take a minute for it to come in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fine.
It's not something I can do.
I'll probably put in an order for a couple bottles of 12 first. Let her try it, because that way you guys don't have to do anything special. And if she's good with that and she enjoys it just fine, then we'll just stick with that. But then if she's like, this is okay, but then I'll be like, I'll slide into those DMs. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like,
Slide
yo,
deep into the DM. I like
deep. I'm going to lube up my knees and come in hot. Yeah. Corey's face is like, no. No.
I don't think we have enough BG for that.
Oh, bro, I got plenty of
I can see my room. We can make this happen.
Just grabs a couple bottles. Squirt, squirt. Let's go.
I'm lubing up for you. Yeah, come on in.
all the way to the elbow. Did you see that? He's like,
It's like,
I don't know, but when you do that, I just hear like a sound. It's like a popping sound. I don't know why. If that's fucked up or not.
That's probably how it would go.
Looks like you blew an O-ring. Yeah, probably.
an O-ring.
That ain't an O-ring. Oh, God. Oh, man.
That's amazing how we go crazy.
Yeah, well, that's my favorite part of this show.
Yeah. And it's without Kelly's the one who does all the research onto the shelters and all that. And so without her being here and doing that, taking her time to do that, I don't have the time to do it. So we don't get the shelters. We don't get the dog of the week unless Kelly's like, hey, by the way, this person reached out.
Right.
Which reminds me, everybody that's watching and watching their replays later on, pay attention to the rescued Facebook family or the rescued Facebook page and to the groups or anything like that we post. We're going to be doing another fundraiser. There's another little girl who's in need of some stuff also.
Okay.
So we're going to do another waffle type thing. Once we have all the details for everything, we'll be posting it. The grandmother is a big part of the vape community, and the family is known about, but we want to see what we can do to help. Kind of like what we did for Alex, for his little girl.
Dope. Yeah, tag me wherever on social media, and I will. I'll put it out on blast.
Definitely, I think, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, that's what social media is for, right?
It is. Spreading the word, trying to get help out for people.
My biggest message to everybody about social media is if you want to get involved in advocacy, things like that, obviously first join CASA first and foremost. But please get on Twitter. As far as advocacy efforts go, things like Instagram are great for rallying the people on Instagram. But if you're actually going to try to communicate or reach a bigger base of people outside of the vaping silos, or reaching, doctors, reaching experts, talking to politicians, things like that, please get on Twitter, because politicians and doctors and experts don't give a shit about anybody's Instagram. They don't give a shit about anybody's TikTok or anything like that. You got to get on Twitter. There you go. That's my advocacy spiel. Let's see. I've done battery safety. We did road safety. I did Twitter. There we go.
We technically talked about, marijuana safety.
Oh yeah, we talked about cannabis. Yeah, and if you work at a Catholic school, making sure that you check your trolley of plants.
Check your shit before you buy it.
I mean, not talking body parts into outlets.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep. I mean, I'm OSHA certified, so
or body parts and other your own body parts, I guess.
Yeah, no extremities into the light socket. I mean.
Light socket. I was talking about just an outlet, but a light socket.
Or any
I mean,
any electrical.
Honey, can you hold this lamp for me in a certain direction? I can't kind of get in there in the right way right now.
Yeah, don't kink shame
ladder
your
while I
wire.
climb up it real fast.
I need you to hold this thing to the side and make sure that you blow on it a little bit to make sure it's not as warm.
So, let's talk about a light fixture. I got asked to go and install a ceiling fan today.
Huh?
And the third party company that I was working for a while, I pretty much had told them to go and fuck off. They were giving me way too much work, which is a great thing, but at the same time, they weren't taking care of me or my employees properly. Well, they came begging, and I said, sure, we'll give it a shot again. And they're like, okay, well, we need you to go install a ceiling fan real fast. It's like, okay, an hour's worth of work, whatever, And I was like, how tall is the ceiling so I can bring the right ladder? And they're like, it's up there. Well, I mean, you need to give me an exact measurement.
You need to get a cherry picker for this? The hell?
Well, the lady goes, what's your tallest ladder you have? I was like, ladder or A-frame? She goes, A-frame. I was like, my tallest one is 15 foot. She goes, do you have a Home Depot near you where you can rent something taller?
What, you got cathedral ceilings? Jesus Christ.
The dude lives, so there is a place over here by me called the Palace of Gold. Straight cold. Dead serious. For miles around it, it's where the people live. They're nice, just don't take the food or drink. And I mean, and so he was one of their members, and he's like, yeah, it's an older man. He's like, can you change my ceiling fan real fast? We get there. It's a fucking 27-foot ceiling.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, cathedral fucking ceilings, man.
Well, so...
Imagine trying to heat that room. Holy crap.
Yeah, your heating bill on that place is...
The building is taller than it is long.
So it's just like a silo.
Pretty much.
Practically a tower.
And there's, so the ceiling fan is like right here. The second floor stops about 3 or 4 feet away from where you could put a ladder to get to it at a normal 8-foot ladder.
Oh, that's a bitch.
So even if we got an enormous A-frame ladder, you can't put it in there. There's no room. You can't even get the damn A-frame into the door.
So what you're going to need to do is start stacking chairs, you see, all the way up, and then you have to shimmy up those chairs.
Well, the guy turns to me and he goes, well, you see that 2x4 right there mounted to the wall above the door? I was like, yeah. He goes, just stick a piece of plywood. Half inch to hold your fat ass. No. No. I go, where do you want me to put the other end of the plywood? He goes, rest it on the banister.
Oh.
No. It's like, these are all horrible ideas. And he's like, he goes, I've done that before. You're 90, it looks like, and you weigh maybe 50 pounds.
Build scaffolding, Anthony said.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only way to do it.
Yeah, you'd have to build scaffolding.
I called up the company and I was like, there's no way for me to safely do this. I go, unless you're planning on, tripling the budget, because I have to rent scaffolding. And she's like, no. I was like, then you need to call them back and tell them, yeah,
Then you need to
shit.
find somebody else. Yeah, ridiculous, absurd.
But yeah.
Even I wouldn't do that.
I mean, I do a lot of unsafe things.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's a difference between doing something that's unsafe that you feel comfortable and you know that you're not going to get hurt, but you don't recommend it.
There's potential for. Yeah.
Versus something that you just look at it and you're like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
It's a hard fall. There's nothing soft around.
My boss recently bought a lift. He bought a tow behind lift, and it's got the 4 legs that come down. It auto balances and levels itself out and stuff, and you can go up in the basket. It's got hand controls. It'll go up 35 feet, and it's actually pretty handy for trees and things like that we have to go do. The issue is that the battery in this lift is junk shit. And my boss has been like, we'll probably get a new battery next year, maybe. So what happens is you have to make sure that somebody's with you, because while you're up there, it'll just die. You're like 20 feet up in the air in this
Sitting
basket.
there on the scissor lift, we're like, well, I'm not going anywhere anytime
And your
soon.
joystick's just dead, and you're just like, ah. So recently my boss was like, look, I know that I normally send somebody with you for this, and I get why. He's like, but I don't have anybody to send with you today. So just please make sure you bring your phone up in the basket with you in case I have to come rescue you. And I'm like, how is this a good idea?
Right.
Like, that should never be a conversation you have with your employee before you send them up in a lift. Like, yeah, just
Make sure your phone's on you just in case you get stuck in the scissor lift.
Yeah. Yeah, and also too, like, I had to go out in the middle of nowhere. So it wasn't like I was gonna be like in town where I could like flag a jogger down and be like, hey, I need you, can you come here? Hit these buttons down here.
Stuck up here.
No, dude, I was out in the boons doing these fucking pine trees. Like,
You got to shit. You better look away. You're not gonna like what you're about to see.
Mommy,
So he walks back.
why is God mad at us?
Oh my God, it's raining shit.
Like when I got to the site and I realized where we were, I texted Kelly. I was like, hey, if you don't hear from me in an hour, I just sent you my location. And all I get back is, why the fuck are you there? Don't eat anything. Don't drink anything. And don't talk to anybody. No shit.
What's so bad about this place? I'm curious.
They've had a really, really bad rep for a while. It's kind of like a Waco thing.
is it just
Yeah, it's not there yet, but it's one of those places that could get that way.
so there's cult potential,
Very much so.
which, I mean,
Like they
let
locked down
them
the...
be, leave them be, let them do their thing, as long as it's not violent or
Exactly.
I'm a live and let live kind of guy, man.
Yeah,
If you want to be in a cult or
Don't
whatever,
instigate 'em.
follow
Don't
your
instigate 'em.
beliefs.
exactly. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, just
I'm
as
cool
long
with
as
whatever
things
you
don't
wanna
get
do.
violent or whatever, as long as nobody's being harmed, I could care less about stuff like that, you know?
I mean, it's a Hindu temple, and it's not. I mean, in my opinion, it's not that bad. But at the same time, it's like, I'm taking the precautions, like letting Kelly know where I am.
Yeah. It's always good to let your spouse know where you are, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But it's not a good idea, Logan? What's not a good idea? Cults?
Well,
Nah.
Jim Jones and the Kool-Aid Kids.
I guess it just depends on where you're standing. Again,
Yeah.
I hold nothing against people's beliefs or practices or whatever. The beautiful thing about America is that everybody has the freedom to practice those things if they choose to. And that should
until
be the way
there's
the
human
entire world
sacrifice
is.
involved, then you're
Yeah,
okay.
as long as we're not, abusing children and sacrificing other human beings and shit like that, I really don't care. To
Yeah.
each their own.
I mean, there's so many people who are like, oh my God, I can't be a friend with you because you're this or you're that. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
Are they forcing it on you? Are they touching you? Or are they doing something that you don't want them to after you've asked them not to?
Yeah.
Who cares?
When you start violating other human beings' autonomy and sovereignty, that's when I take.
Is it a scary thing where people have the mindset where it's like somebody accidentally touched you, like, oh, you got your beliefs on me? No.
Oh. Nope, those are just my germs. Sorry, you're fine.
That's just
It's just
It's just my
You're
COVID.
good.
You're good. Yeah. Terrible. For everybody watching, I don't have COVID. I can't speak for everybody else, but
Don't lie.
COVID-free
You
over
went to
here.
DC.
yeah, I got tested too.
I'm sorry, when I go to
got the Schwab.
when I go to the store, I make sure to get Diet COVID. Thank you.
I get sugar-free COVID. Okay, we're fine here.
Add a little bit of Splendid to it. It's delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. No
Splendid
worries.
is delicious.
Yeah, no, honestly, like right now, I don't want to say my only concerns because that's not true. My biggest concerns regarding COVID right now are that my children are doing hybrid learning. So they're going to school 2 days a week and then doing the other 3 at home. And recently, a few towns over, all of the schools had to close because of like COVID cases and stuff. We've been good here, but I think it's just a matter of time. Like me and my wife are just preparing for, full home virtual learning, schooling at this point. Like we're just kind of waiting. The downside to it though is both of my kids have been through like assisted learning and things like that, and they've made amazing strides in the past few years.
Anthony, get out of here. The motherfucker.
It's not for COVID. Hey, it's good to get tested for all sorts of things, Anthony. We don't shame people around here. But
Do I have that kind of persona where I'd go get fucking tested for different kind of shit?
Do you really want an honest answer?
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if you have the persona that I think you would go get tested, but I don't think it hurts anybody to go get tested, right? The more you know, the better you are. But my kids both benefit very much from in-person learning. It's just something with my kids, they really do benefit greatly from having one-on-one personal learning. And it's something that we didn't want to take away from them. Just because we don't want them to fall behind in any way, Judge me as a parent, all people want, go for it. I don't care. They're not your kids, they're my kids. So we went with the hybrid learning so that way they could get that time. And the school has done a really, really good job so far. But even a lot of schools around the country who have had all the precautions in place, all the safety stuff, done everything like they should be doing, are still seeing cases and stuff like that. So for us, it's like, let them get what time they can in learning one-on-one time, and we're just kind of waiting for it.
Yeah, like my sister, the one I went to Mississippi for, 5 daughters, homeschools them all, always has. And it's like I told her, I was like, I respect you. And she's like, why? And I was like, I couldn't.
I couldn't do it either. My wife's aunt homeschools her 3 kids and has a baby right now.
Yeah, her youngest one just turned 1. Her oldest is 15. I mean, it's like, no.
I think her youngest, I think her little one just turned maybe 2 or is soon to be 2.
It's like, I love my kids, and I couldn't learn in school without having a teacher there to teach me. I have to hear it, and I have to be hands-on. If I'm not, I'm just going to forget it within a matter of minutes.
Also, I couldn't even begin to learn how to teach kids the way they're teaching kids nowadays with like Common Core and all these different things. Like kids, my oldest will bring home her math homework, and me and her teacher last year went round and round with this. And I said, look, at one point I was like, look, you need to send me your pamphlet. I need your teacher's edition worth of stuff. If you want me to help her with this, I want to help her. And I can teach her to do math the way that I learned math, the way that humanity did math for 1,000 fucking years. But the way you want us to do math, like Common Core stuff is above and beyond me. And I just don't get it. It's fine. It is what it is. If Common Core works for your kids, it's cool. It was really frustrating for me because my daughter would ask me for help, and I'm really good at math. I mean, I ranked really well in the ACTs when I was in school. Math is something that's come natural to me. But this way that they do math,
I'm like, math is the universal language. We shouldn't be changing math. It's math. What are we doing and why?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just one of those things. So like, I'm with you. Like, my kids benefit from in person, from the teachers that know how to do that stuff well, that, you know, can relate that information. I can't. Like, I needed their stuff to be able to sit down and just do division the way they wanted it to.
And you have to show every piece of work.
Yeah.
It's
Like it's weird. Common Core is like kind of if you put the way that you block numbers and do quick math in your head, but on paper in a really ridiculous fashion.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of view Common Core. It's like,
I agree, Duchess. Common Core is stupid as fuck.
yeah, I think we should just go back to the way that we taught math forever and just stick with that. Yeah, that's my hot take on Common Core.
So let's talk about something funny.
I'm down.
So, on my way to Mississippi, I got pulled over twice. Technically, once I was already pulled over. So the first time I got pulled over, I was driving. I was going probably between 9 to 11 miles over the speed limit. The car in front of me slammed on his brakes because there was a cop hiding in like the little wooded path in Alabama.
Mhm.
And I swerved because I was going to rear end him if I didn't. Well, cop pulls me over, and he's like, you know, I pulled you over. I was like, I was speeding. And he's like, oh, you're only going a couple miles over. I'm cool with that. I was like, then no. He's like, well, you were swerving. He goes, I want to make sure you're okay, or have you been drinking? Goes through the whole thing. He's like, can you get out and do a sobriety test? It's like, yes. So I got out. He's like, walk a straight line. Walked a straight line. It's like 1:30 in the morning. Tired as fuck. You know, getting everything done. And then he's like, what smells so good in your car? And it's like,
I mean,
that's why I was like, I pulled out my mech and I was like, vaping? He's like, what flavor? Guava lemonade menthol? He's like, never heard of it. I was like, a bottle. And we started talking. We talked for probably 20 minutes about vaping.
Oh wow.
oh,
He is a huge vaping supporter. He vapes nonstop. I always have a shit ton of rescue on me, and I was like, here, have a bottle. And then he's like, not reading the bottle, he looks at me and he goes, so did you rescue the Escalade from a junkyard? It's like, nope.
No,
Like,
I just drove it to DC with 50 fucking people in there.
he's like, well, what's rescued? I was like, want to be a smartass and be like, look at the fucking bottle, asshole. But it's like, no, so I gave him the spiel about rescue, what we do, and all that stuff. He's like, well, man, he goes, here's my card. He goes, if you run into any more problems in Alabama, he goes, and it's a state trooper, have them give me a call. You're square, don't worry. And then I was like, here's my card. If you need something, call me.
Let me know.
Yeah,
I have a fun cop story
go for it.
about getting pulled over, involving the scent of things and having conversations with police officers. I was pulled over in 2009 on Interstate 86 doing 80 miles an hour. So obviously I was 15 miles an hour above the speed limit. It's the only time I've ever gotten a speeding ticket in my life. Got pulled over. Cop comes up to the window, roll my window down. Immediately he goes, all right, everybody out of the car.
oh God.
We had just that morning, we used to go on what we used to call hill cruises. You know, bring blunts, smoke, whatever, go for a drive.
Call those high drives over here.
Yeah, so my car just reeked. It was just dank, just reeked, right? But none of us were high. It was hours past, and I was going to pick up my roommate from work, and so, but I did happen to have a blunt in the car, in a plastic tube, and so he's everybody out of the car. This cop immediately goes like full, alpha male police officer. Everybody out of the car. This guy was like, "Tell me where all the weed is." Like this dude thought he had a fucking bust. Like
he thought my trunk was lined, like this guy was gonna find pounds, you know. And I was like, whoa, dude, like it's cool. And you know, this is back when New York was decriminalized up to 25 grams, I believe it was back then. And this was, I don't know, maybe a 3-gram blunt, something like that. So well below any major issue, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I was like, dude, it's in my center console. Like, there's a blunt in there. Knock yourself out. Whatever. It's fine, you know. He pulls that out and he's like, all right, I'm going to need you to pop the trunk, pop all that. And I had nothing else in my car. And I know my rights, you know. But I was just like, fuck it. I don't care. I had like a t-shirt and a fucking pair of shoes in my trunk. Like, you can bring the fucking canines all you want, dude. You're not going to find anything else. Like, here's this dude, like, so adamant that he's got a bust, you know? I was like, go for it, man. Knock yourself out. Here you go. Pop my trunk, open my glove box, open my center console. I was like, you could fucking cut my seats open if you want to. I'm going to sue your office if you do, but go for it. I don't care. And he does. He goes through my whole car. Flashlights under the seats. You know, he's digging. He's pulling up the fucking mats and shit. Finally, he's like, all right, you, come with me. You know, I get back in the back of the SUV, and he's printing up my ticket, my unlawful possession ticket, which is like a $50 ticket and like an $80 surcharge. Court fine is worse than the ticket. And so he's sitting there with me. He's finally all calmed down. I know the script, Frames. I know the script now. This is 2009. I didn't know the script then. But I knew for the most part, I knew and understood my rights. I just didn't care because this guy, I had to fucking embarrass this guy, right? Like, he was so adamant that he had this big bust on his hands, and he walked away with a 3-gram fucking white owl. So we get into the back of the truck, and he's going through. He's finally calmed down. You know, testosterone has calmed down a bit. He's realized that he's not gonna get the big bust of the day that he thought. And he's going through, he's looking at this blunt, he's got it out of the tube, he's looking at it, he's, you know, back when we were kids, we used to just smoke out of tin cans and Pepsi cans and shit and all this and that. He's like, you kids nowadays are just so ingenuitive and inventive with the way that you smoke this weed. And he's going on about how in 5 years it'll all be legal anyway and all this and that. And I was like, you've never seen a blunt before? And he's like, nope, this is the first blunt I've ever seen. He's like, I don't even know how you guys do this. So I proceeded to teach Officer Lewis of the state police out on Highway 86 how to roll a blunt.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I got out of the SUV. He handed me my unlawful possession ticket, told me, and my speeding ticket. And, you know, be safe. Here you go. Not the white owl. I know, dude. I'm sorry. Again, dude, young, man. Young. I didn't know any better. I moved on to Game Green Leafs after that, though. Much better choice. They burn much longer. But yeah. That's what it was. Taught Officer Lewis of the state police how to roll a blunt. His prediction, though, that it would all be legal in 5 years was way off.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit, especially here in New York State.
Well, the second time I got pulled over that night was about 2:30, 3 o'clock, Tennessee. I was already pulled over to the side of the road, couldn't make it to the rest stops. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to crash on the side of the road. You know, because if you start getting tired, be safe. Pull the fuck over. No point in endangering your life or anybody else's.
Sure, absolutely.
So
I did that on my
pulled
trip
over,
to Florida.
and I pulled over further than I should have. I didn't know what I was doing at that time because I was tired. I get
Did you
woken
go
up.
down into the ditch?
Oh yeah, I got woken up. My alarm went off, and I have a strobe light on my phone, and a cop was behind me when that started going off, and tapped on the window. He's like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just waking up from a little nap. I'm sorry." He's like, "I just wanted to check." He goes, "Do you know where you are?" I was like, "Tennessee somewhere." And he's like, "You don't know where you are?" I was like, "I'm from, Ohio." And he's like, "Well, what the fuck are you doing down here?" Told him what I was doing. And he's like, "But you're okay now, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, because you're about 15 feet away from the road." I was like, "Okay, so a little further in the ditch than I thought I was going to be." He goes, "Are you going to be able to get out?" Johnny called tow truck. I was like, Escalade's all-wheel drive. It should be fine.
Yeah. Did you get it out, though? You got it out okay?
Well,
Or did you have to have somebody...
he starts to leave. I go to crank the car, and you just hear click, click.
Battery
no.
died.
Oh, no.
Turns back around. He goes, "You need a jump, son?" I was like,
Yeah.
sure.
With your head down.
He just he's like,
man.
all right, give me a minute. Let me go ahead and, flip my car around for you. He flips his car around, beautiful Charger. And he proceeds to tell me, when people pull over, they turn off the ignition all the way. It's like,
Yep.
yep.
He's just trying
Fell
every
asleep listening to talk radio.
Oh, dude,
classical music going in the background.
I didn't even care what was
Do you have
on.
any good stories like this, Corey?
It's not about me, but I know a friend of mine who, in my opinion, set the record for amount of times you can get pulled over in a day, which was
God.
the equivalent to 9 times
Jeez.
because one of her lights was out, and she was like, this was all in one day too. Proceeded like she was going down one of the little side streets, got pulled over, said light was out, to give her warning. 5 minutes later, another cop pulls her over. It's with all like a couple hour span of just getting pulled over every single time for having a light out. And just told him the same spiel every single time. Lights out, I'm gonna get fixed tomorrow, blah, blah, blah.
You might as well at one point just be like, give me the fucking fix-it ticket. So that way I can show the next cop that I already got a fucking ticket and they can
Right?
just move along.
It's like before they even come up the windows, just slam it to the glass, be like, can I go now?
Ask Will about the time we went to Pittsburgh, or not to Pittsburgh, but to Philly.
Oh, yeah.
He never drives with me. And we were going to the manufacturer, the co-packer. Got pulled over 4 fucking times in a 3-hour period. And it was always state troopers. So the first state trooper that pulled us over evidently wasn't a real one. They've been having a scam going on the highway back there, on the turnpike, where a fake cop was pulling people over. Yeah. And that's in the next one pulled us over, and we're like, we already got pulled over. They made us move because Kelly's car had temporary tags at the time, and the temporary tag wasn't in the right spot of the window because there's a certain area for that damn thing to go, evidently. And every time, same thing. Temporary tag was in the wrong area. But man, you should ask Will about how paranoid he was. He's like, I don't know if I have any warrants left out here anymore.
No, Jesus Christ.
He's like, I'm never driving with you again, Nick.
I only have one ditch story, but I'll share my ditch story. I was I'm from about 2 hours away from where I live now, so that's where my family is. They're about 2 hours away. Well, I went down, stayed at my mom's. We had I don't remember if it was a birthday or it was some kind of party. This is a few years ago. But I had to work the next day, and I was like, don't worry, it's cool. I'll get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'll head out at 5:30. I'll be home in time for work. It's not a big deal. So I'm on my way back. It was February and no snow, but on my way back on the county route, after I got off the highway, you take a county route and you end up right here. It's the easiest way to go. But I'm on that county route and it's farms out here, wide open fields, farms. So you get a lot of drifts, you get a lot of wind. I hit a patch of black ice. And I had a Nissan Altima, right? And I hit that black ice, complete loss of control. There was nothing I could do. It was done. It was over. And so if you were looking at the ditch like this, here's the ditch, right? Running along the side of the road. My car went like this. So it wedged itself in perpendicular over the ditch. So I'm like, fuck. So I get out, or I go to get out, and I know I'm in a ditch, and I know there's, it's icy, it's snowy or whatever on the side of the road. So I get out and I tap my foot on the ice in the ditch, and I'm like, okay, it's safe. So I go, and the second that all of my weight is on that ice, I drop through it, dude. And when I say drop through it, I was I was mid-thigh in frozen water. So I'm instantly and it's 6 in the morning, right? The sun hasn't
That's
even
not a wake up call. I don't know what is.
Oh,
That's
dude, yeah. Luckily, I had change of clothes in the back. I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. My car started back up, so I got the heat going, and I get back in the car and I'm stripping down, right? So at this point, I'm in my car on the side of the road with my headlights down in a ditch,
with my pants off. That is the moment that an officer pulled over. I'm in the middle of pulling my pants up. Like I've got my boxers on and I've got one leg going in and I'm trying to get dressed in the driver's seat, which is terrible. And the officer pulls over, gets his flashlight out, he's looking. Everything all right in there? I'm like, yeah, you just got to give me a minute. And he's walking towards my car. I'm like, just don't come in the ditch. The ice is deceiving. He's like, what? What is happening? Yeah, I was able to get out like through the back door where there was like solid ground. I like scooted my way through the car, out the back door onto like the edge of the ditch.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't have was a pair of shoes though. So I had to put like my
wet
soaking
shoes.
wet, frozen wet shoes on. Oh, it was terrible.
It's like walking around on a wet sponge all day.
Needless to say, the officer was he was okay with me and he understood, and he went up the road a little bit and saw the black ice, came back, and he's like, oh yeah, I saw what you hit up there, and called a tow guy for me to get me out of the ditch. $275 just to get pulled out of a ditch, not even towed anywhere, just to get pulled out of the ditch.
What happened to the good old days where they would do that out of the kindness of their heart, or the $80, hookup fee?
No, I know a number of people up here, but like, again, it was 6 a.m. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck it, just call the fucking tow guy. And I knew it was going to be expensive, but then the guy, he gets me pulled out and then he hands me the bill. And I was like, fuck. I was figuring maybe $150 at most, No, $275.
Go to your wife, hope you like ramen noodles for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, ramen noodles and apples. That's all we're having. Yeah, no, it was, but yeah, that's like my only
Doing good.
ditch
Hey, I'm
story.
on YouTube right now. Can I call you right back?
Is
sorry. Yeah, you're good. I'm about
pulling
to,
my
I'm
pants
heading
up
home to go to bed. You're
while
good.
the cop
I
is
was calling
approaching.
to be on the house.
I can only imagine what was going through his head, though.
All right. I love you, sissy.
I can only
Love
imagine.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Talk about
That'd be a weird situation. He's like, this guy's in a ditch, and he's putting his pants on.
He's putting his pants on right now.
What the
is
hell did I just come
happening?
into?
Yeah.
Is there something in the trunk that I need to get out of there? What the hell is happening?
Yeah. No, don't look in the trunk.
Talk about frosted nuts.
I saw that, Anthony.
Oh.
Oh.
Kelly had a cop-related call today too.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna see if she wants to jump in so that way she can tell about it, or she's just gonna share it in chat. Yeah, the cops. I mean, I can honestly say I've only had one cop that's actually a dick,
I've known a number of them.
and he was a dick because I was a smartass to him.
Mm-hmm.
So there in when we had our shop in Toronto, I got pulled over because my tail light was out, and I was speeding. So the cop's like, all right, and he's like, I was like, how fast was I going? He's like, 6 over. It's like, really? He's like, oh, and your tail light's busted too. Well, earlier, the time of having the shop, I knew of the state trooper who was married to a porn star.
Oh.
And this was the state trooper, and I was like, what's wrong? Your wife fucking all the other guys but you? I was having a bad day.
Yeah.
And ever since then, every time that damn state trooper sees me, he'll pull me over, whether I'm speeding or not, just to be an asshole. So be nice to cops. Because he'll bite you in the ass one day.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I don't necessarily believe that all people that become cops are bad. Like, I don't necessarily buy into the all cops are bad thing. But I do firmly believe that there are good people in this world and there are shitty people in this world, and some of those people choose to become cops.
All right, give me 1 second.
I think that's a pretty reasonable reality of the situation.
Some of those shitty people decide to run for president of the United States.
Fucking A, they do.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
After the shit show I watched yesterday, I'm still in my brain needs to recover after watching.
Dude, I watched like a few minutes of it and I was like, I need a fucking cigarette, dude. Like, it was bad. It was.
I had to pause it to go get a fucking drink. was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
there's a
Like
reason
after
there's a
last
reason I
night's
left.
debate, I have never been so ashamed to be an American in my life.
Yeah, there's a reason I left the duopoly a long time ago. You know, I don't vote blue or red.
I'm like sitting here, I'm like, these are the choices that they fucking gave us. These are the best people that they can come
Yep,
up with.
those are the best and brightest that the parties have to offer.
No wonder all the other countries hate us. Look at what
Yeah.
our fucking politics look like.
We're a laughing stock, man. To the
It's
rest of the world,
ridiculous.
like if you talk to people outside of this country, we legitimately are not only a threat but a joke. It's a weird, like,
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. Like they laugh at us, but they're also very concerned about what we're doing. And it's like, I'm just so
Well, yeah, because
sorry
it
to
affects
everyone
them,
else.
too.
I'm so sorry about the mess. It's like when people come over to your house and it's not clean and you're like, I'm really sorry about the mess, guys. It's usually not this bad. That's how I feel about our current state of things.
I think after this, I need to go watch that fucking South Park COVID episode. The hour-long special of the South Park thing. I've been hearing it's fantastic. So
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm definitely going to have to watch that as well. I wonder if is it on any of the streaming things? Is it on Hulu
it would probably be on Hulu tomorrow.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch it then. Kelly!
There's the wife.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
beautiful.
So you want to hear about the story of the cop today?
Yeah.
Jason, you want to tell them the story? Yeah, hold on. So this involves my 17-year-old. He will be 18 in a few months.
Oh no, what happened with Jason? I don't know about this one.
All right, so me and my buddy, so we see kids go up on top of this building all the time, you know, with gallons of spray paint. I'm talking gallons.
Real quick, this is on the YouTube show.
Why not?
Okay, so
I'm not gonna say names.
okay.
But we were like, okay, what's gonna hurt if we do it? We went up there, we looked at all the spray painting, some weird people up there. We come back down. The officer comes up to me and goes, "Are you the ones on top of the building?" We were like, "Yeah." They were like, "Oh, blah, blah, you know, that's trespassing. Do you own the building?" I was like, "We see people go up there all the time. Do they own the building?" They said, "Probably." Highly doubt it. But anyways, another officer shows up, talking about, "It's you again." I'm like, "Who are you?" And he comes up to my truck, starts flashing his lights around to make sure it's street legal, all that. He points out a nail in my tire and tells me how it's illegal to drive around with a flat tire. Like, my truck's in park, but okay. But then he talks to my buddy, he's 21, and he says, like, you know, like, "Oh, you trespassing, distributing to a minor, blah, blah, blah." I said, "What did he give to me?" He goes, "Nothing. You were on top of a building." I was like, "Yeah." He said, "And he could have told you no. He just shouldn't have given you the idea." I was like, "No, I gave him the idea." He goes, "Okay, but I should have told you no." What did he distribute to me? I guess the world will never know. But anyways, it was just crazy.
But he got a free pizza, so it's all
I
good.
got a free pizza.
Hey.
And a nail in the tire.
It balances out.
How the hell did a free pizza come into this?
I don't know, but it sounds
Jason?
like a fucking good
know.
deal to me.
I'm going to go
How'd
up on
the
this
free
building
pizza
if
happen?
you get free pizzas.
He said, "Oh yeah, we cooked too much pizza, blah blah. Y'all want one?" He gave us, me and my buddy, 2 free cheese pizzas.
That's
Worth it.
yeah.
Yeah. Ben?
Let me tell you, I get a FaceTime call from him, and I don't have very good reception here, so it's glitchy, and I'm catching like every third word, and the screen is really pixelated, and all I see is what appears to be like a gunshot hole in the tire, and I see like 3 or 4 cop cars in the back, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, did my son's tire get shot out? And then he's like, but it's cool, I got pizza, I'll talk to you later. I'm like,
They didn't show up with 2. They showed up like with 6 or 7 officers on the scene.
yeah.
Then there has to be some guy in a robe ran away. We were like, who? Like, some guy in a robe? Like, you should stand up pretty easy for you guys.
Yeah, so that was my cop experience today.
Yeah, well, hey, it could have been a lot worse, and you got
Yeah.
pizza out of it, so,
Yeah,
We
it's
got
like
a free pizza, so
yeah.
I consider that a win.
Kelly,
it was
Red
very much a win.
Red says hi to you. Red vapes?
Hi.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
I
she can't see the chat, yeah.
because, you know, I'm on my phone. But yeah,
Well,
so that was
we all miss you on the show. You kind of keep us glued together.
Yeah, we've been
don't
on all
miss-
sorts of weird places tonight because you
Yeah,
weren't
it's
here.
worse than last week.
In a very
Well,
deep
that's-
rabbit hole.
I know. I
Very
saw the
deep.
name of the show and I was like, really, really?
That was a combination of all three of us figuring that name out.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It was originally I was like, what about Rescued in the News? Because we were brainstorming.
And
And then
go,
Nick was like, Rescued in the Nude.
I want to know. I was looking at like the stuff, and there was one thumbs down. I want to know who's the jackwagon that thumbs downed it.
yeah, we're gonna get that. I think that's like our first one, honestly, first or second.
Yeah.
Maybe they're upset we weren't nude.
Maybe
I mean,
that's it. Maybe they
I mean,
felt
maybe-
misled.
Are we
and lied
changing that?
to.
I'm about to say it might have been a little bit of clickbaitiness. If we need to change that, give me a second.
Oh,
you
it's
can't
just
take
another
off a shirt for another shirt. Doesn't count.
Oh,
I'm sure I got a few people in that though. They were like, oh, oh, damn.
Aw, damn
I was
cheese.
waiting for like a hashtag free the nipple movement or something. to happen.
Yeah, free the nipple.
Where are the dogs?
Squirrel, white bear.
I don't. They're all right there. Okay. Huh?
Where's the other one?
Where? Okay. Where's Bentley? We're missing dogs right now.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is why.
Velez will find Bentley. He just needs to sniff or smell again.
He has not been interested in her ever since we've been coming back.
Oh, that's good.
Who'd you take with you? Only just Velez?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, she
My
just took
phone-
Velez.
My phone is dying, so I'm gonna have to cut this short because it just alerted me that I have 10% left.
Well, that means you got a couple more minutes.
Do you want to say hi to my? Show your face because you're so young, but you can wave.
should have had for British Eyes Only on wearing just a cloud.
That's Ellie.
Hi, Miss Princess.
Ruth wants to put her hand in the screen too.
Stick it in, Ruthie.
There's Ruthie.
Myra, you want to say hi?
Oh,
Myra, say hi, pretty girl.
Myra failed out of cop school.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
now,
she's a
You're
failed
red?
cop dog.
Got a beautiful
Yes.
saddle.
yeah. But if
Yeah.
Myra sees a light in the room on the ground,
Or a hairdryer.
Well, what
that's a
about
new
Bentley? What about my Bentley? Stop resisting!
Danny is a cop dog.
There's Bentley.
but
She's
if,
vicious.
if Myra sees a light on the ground, she will dig at the floor and beat her face into the carpet until she either bleeds or somebody gets her to stop finally.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Or any kind
Real
of
serious about those lights, huh?
Yeah. She's special.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
any kind of reflection of light. So if there's like a reflection of light on the wall or ceiling, she'll lose it until she can get.
Go tell her.
Or if you say REDDOT.
Hmm.
Show him pretty.
She originally started her life as a drug dog. She was like supposed to alert to the presence of cops, and then she got picked up by the police because they raided the house and they thought, well, they could train her, and well, she didn't do well with the lights. So now she protects my children.
And she does a really good job of that because she protected
Yes.
them from me quite a few times when I went up there to visit.
My grandpa owned his own business for a long time. He owned an equipment rental business, and he always had guard dogs. And when I grew up, the dog that he had was a full German Shepherd. Her name was Babe, and my uncle was a canine unit police officer for 20 years, and so he trained her, and she was probably like the most well-behaved, like obedient, loving dog ever. But he trained her completely out of uniform, and she never saw or interacted with a man in uniform ever in any kind. And like men or people, when you put on like a uniform of power or authority or whatever, there's like, I guess, especially for men, like a testosterone level, like a scent or something, some kind of vibe that men give off. And so every time there was anybody that ever came to the shop in any kind of uniform, Babe would lose her mind. Like this loving, snuggling, like I used to ride this dog like a horse, dude, like a pony, like the most gentle, caring dog ever would just flip, like just instantly. Any man in uniform that came to the shop, whether it was whether even the mailman, dude, like any guy in any kind of uniform, instantly she lost her mind.
Myra doesn't do well with bicycles, motorcycles, tall men.
Anything that's not like 4 wheels that are not.
Standing up.
She doesn't like people standing up, loud noises, people touching her kids. Like any of those things, she will bite you.
Well, before your phone dies, tell everybody your good news, babe. What you sent me pictures of yesterday? Completed? Diploma?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got my official diploma for dog training school.
Yep.
So I'm officially a dog trainer.
Nice. Kudos.
100%.
Dope.
I now have 6 diplomas in regard to dogs and dog care.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Good job.
Awesome.
So if anyone has any questions, I'm your girl. I still know absolutely nothing about cats.
Can dogs poop in 0G?
Technically, it would be the same as a person.
That was my only question. That's all I could come up with.
I just want to know why you came up with that.
Welcome to my brain. That's all I could come up with.
I'm gonna have to research this. Now it's gonna be in my brain.
Okay.
Thanks, Logan.
You're welcome. Hey, life is a journey, man. You learn along the way.
Especially
Yeah.
0G.
Especially in
wonder-
0G, you learn a lot of things along the way.
I mean, I would assume you could. Like, people can, right?
Yeah, sure. I think. I would hope so. I mean, I don't think gravity definitely affects the way that we poop.
I've never been in 0G, and I've definitely never needed to shit
I
in
mean,
0G.
Think how awkward that'd be. Would you sit on a toilet that has built-in suction? I mean,
Would you have
ain't
to, like,
forcing nothing out. It's like
yeah, right? Like you'd have to.
it's like a straw. It's like gonna,
Otherwise,
It's
it's just gonna float with you.
Would it come out the other way?
then if it
What
hits our
other way is there?
then
Like,
no.
South Park had an episode on this, and I don't know if it was.
Where you eat
you know, it,
the
when you
fucking turkey,
reference
bro,
South Park,
isn't like
it's
Martha
bad.
Stewart with a whole turkey or
Martha
something.
Stewart sitting on a fucking turkey and shitting it out of her mouth.
It's so bad.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my god.
One of the reasons why I love that show so much, because
Yeah.
they have no boundaries when it comes to shit they put on TV.
Yeah, Duchess said it's not on Hulu anymore. South Park is only on HBO Max now.
I know, I'm very upset.
That's
Hold on, there's a
Sad.
website that I go to called South Park Studios. I want to see if it's still a thing.
Romello says you're a pimp. You can now train bitches.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get
And
your
us.
hosed in line.
You're a canine pimp now.
Yeah. But my
What
phone
free
is
episode?
really gonna die, so Logan, Corey, I love you and I like you. Honey, I will talk to you tomorrow.
All right, I love you, baby.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, South Park Studios does not have it. They just have random full episodes. Let's see what they have on here. That's good.
The internet is massive. There's got to be a way to find this.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna start winding it down. It's 10:40.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
how much time has already gone.
I think we had a number of great stories told on this episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys learned more about my criminal past than I thought I would be sharing. Tonight.
Yeah, I got to hear about me getting pulled over a couple of
Sure.
times.
Yeah. I think it's like a passage of life. Like at some point you just got to get pulled over. You got to go.
Oh my God, they have the Vagisil one on here. Yes. The one where Cartman eats Vagin still to get stupid so he can race NASCAR.
Yeah. You know what one of my favorite episodes of South Park is the Succubus episode. It's one of my favorites.
Nope, my favorite episode's right here. Make Love Not Warcraft.
Yes, dude, that's a good
Favorite
one.
episode of all time.
That's a good one. Yeah. All right.
All right.
How do you how do we wind down your shows?
Usually y'all just give y'all's little spiel of where everybody can find you, anything new going on with y'all, for people to look out to. Y'all show, which we didn't talk about at all, and I'm really sorry.
No, that's okay. It's fun.
No worries.
I like doing shows like this where we can just
let loose.
Yeah, just chat.
Yeah.
I mean, I love vaping, but it gets kind of just hard sometimes just to constantly talk about it, you know?
Yep. It does. It does indeed.
Yeah.
That's why me and Corey do a show every other week.
And that's honestly, I mean, and I love the fact that y'all chose Wednesdays because it gives me and Kelly a week off and a week to refresh and come up with new topics or to randomly figure out things to talk about.
I think me and Corey just need to get better at communicating about topic ideas. Well, Corey's been actually getting really good about this. When we first started doing it was like the day before, the night before our show, he would be like, "You want to talk about all this?" And I was like, "Yep, I'll read it all tonight," you know. But now actually, like, Corey throughout the 2 weeks will hit me up with stuff that he wants to do with the show. So it's definitely been getting better for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and
Corey takes the reins, man. It's his show.
Corey got to learn a new saying today.
I did?
Oh, Corey already forgot the new saying.
What's the saying?
Got your ears lowered?
Oh, yeah. You got
Oh,
your
right,
ears
yeah.
lowered.
Huh.
I need to get my ears lowered soon.
Same here. It's starting to...
I've never heard of that whatsoever.
Oh.
Okay, apparently having HBO on Prime is not the equivalent of having HBO Max.
Nope.
Good to know. Kind
Corey.
of upsetting, too, because now that's another thing I have to fucking pay for. Ah.
Do your spiel.
Oh, yeah, I have a spiel, right. Yeah. Thank you for having me on. It was a great time. You can catch me on Vaping with the Omies every Monday with a bunch of rascals that we talk about some shit. And you can catch me on my channel every other Wednesday with Mr. Logan. We talk news and advocacy and ended up with some fun, impromptu fun stuff. And it's a good time. But, yeah, pretty much me. What do you got to say, Nick?
Any Instagram handles or Facebook? Or
If you type in Poon Sauce McNasty in Google, you can find some weird shit.
Just don't click on images.
Just
Yeah,
don't
don't
Google McNasty by itself.
Or poon
Yeah.
sauce.
Ooh. Just Google
Yeah.
the whole word.
Them together is fine because I'll be the first one that shows
Yeah.
up. But if you do any one of the two words by themselves, you might need to
Yeah, and just
see
don't
a
click
therapist
images.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Mr. Logan.
For basically every social media out there, you can find me at Logan Exhales or Logan_Exhales. You can, like Corey said, you can find me and Corey every other Wednesday on What's in the News on his channel. You can tune into my podcast, the Rise and Vape podcast. It's available on basically every major streaming platform out there: SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all that fun stuff. The only thing I ask out of people, please follow us on SoundCloud. That's where we're trying to build up our base. It's the easiest place for us to track analytics and grow as a podcast, but feel free to tune in and listen wherever. But we definitely appreciate follows on SoundCloud. And I think that's really it. I think that's about it.
And for us, I mean, if y'all are watching us, you know where to find us. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I don't usually do this. Kelly does all this for me.
Rescue D-Liquid.
Yes. Rescue D-Liquid.
Rescue D-Liquid. Just Google search it. You'll find it all.
Da-da-da-da.
But it's been a pleasure. Thank y'all for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you for rewatching. Thank you for hanging out with us, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have been a blast. Anytime.
And thanks for having us, Nick.
Dude,
Yeah,
bantering is the best way to do it.
Damn right it is.
You look so sophisticated when you pick that up, Kelly.
I've never seen somebody vape so sensual. I like it.
You gotta rub the face now. There you
Uh,
Oh, we're double fisting now.
There you go. That's as sensual as I can make that.
All right, guys. But thank you guys for joining. I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe week next week. And tune into these two guys. They are
Yeah,
entertaining as hell.
we do some stuff.
They do some
We
stuff.
try. It's all Corey. I just show up and drink beers.
Now, does Corey usually watch the monitor the entire time, y'all, or is he like this?
I have two monitors. I'm trying to figure out.
He's
something
he's
there.
the squirrel.
He's the squirrel. That's the
squirrel.
All right, guys. Well, from Rescue, we love you. We like you. Kelly misses all y'all. I know she was excited that she got to jump in for a little bit. But everybody be safe. Love each other. Be nice. Be kind. Or else. Bye, everybody. Y'all have a great night. And y'all come back now, you hear?
Y'all come back now. Yeah.
Y'all come back now, yeah?
Oh, yeah. All right, we're off.
Great show, man.